You ready, Chris?
You ready, Ben?
Let's get it.
Man, let's get it, man. Welcome to the Follow Then Lead podcast.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Follow Then Lead podcast. This is our last episode.
Let's go.
Hey. We are here with Chris and Ben and myself, Stacy. How are we today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It was a busy day, busy work week, but I was thinking on my way here, I was going to send you guys a message, because we do these like posts and stuff,
Right.
Yeah.
or like quotes and thoughts. And I was like, no matter how hard or easy my day was, it'll always be a good day. Because I'm still alive, I'm still healthy. I talk to the cleaners and stuff at work. I talk to everybody. And, they're always kind of joyful.
Yeah.
Especially this one guy. Actually, both of them, they're just like, God, they're always like, God is good, man. I'm here, I'm healthy, I have another day. So God is good. And you look at like people that like we work with at certain levels, they're always stressed out.
Right.
It's like, man, God is good. Life is good. I'm healthy. I have another day. Things be that they may, right? Like whether they're good, hard or easy or tough, or the struggle, whatever we going on in our minds, but life is still good. So I feel that's how I feel. Life is good. I'm good.
That's dope, man. Happiness is a mindset thing, bro. That's where it started, So, like you said, whether good or bad or good, you have to find that joy, that thing that brings you peace or bring you happiness or puts a smile on your face. It's there. You just gotta find it. So those that are stressed out, my heart goes out to them because there's so much goodness out here, man. Like for real, like your kids alive, that right there alone, like I'm gonna get up and clap my hands on that right there. But as y'all can tell from my energy, I'm feeling good too, and I'm happier than a pig in mud right now.
You repping the Dallas Cowboys.
Yet again, look,
the boys looking good.
After that, they dropped that 1L opening game. After that 6 games straight,
Oh yeah,
impressive.
boys are balling right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that win. So Dallas is good. I'm good. Y'all good. Yeah. So closing out the first season, going into season 2.
How's Stacy doing?
It's a beautiful thing. Stace,
Hey.
she's on it.
I'm here. I'm tired today, but again, grateful. Just a lot of gratitude because God's been moving expeditiously. So it's just taking it one day at a time. And, I love having fun with you guys here. So it's a good day. It's a
Beautiful.
good day. It's
I
a good
love
day. Awesome. All right. So today I have the pleasure of interviewing you guys. So my first question for you today is, what have you learned so far about yourself in this journey with the podcast? Whoever would like to go first, please go ahead.
You want to do rock, paper, scissors, or you just want to?
You was taking notes, so you can.
I wasn't really taking notes, man. I was over doodling, actually.
You was just doodling.
I was drawing pictures, but
Processing.
But to start off, man, I would say to bet on myself. Doing this podcast, I found out that, I can be great at whatever I want to as long as I put my mind to it, put in the work, believe in myself, like I said, bet on myself, and just make it happen. And then things will start to flourish after the fact. And gaining confidence as a speaker. I never viewed myself as being a speaker or having good communication skills or whatever you want to call it, but doing this podcast has helped me on that plateau, elevate my game, because eventually I do want to do motivational speaking. I do want to be able to pour into kids, pour into people in general, but I want to be able to relay that message correctly, the right way, so they can feel that impact. So doing this podcast has helped me achieve that goal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's so good.
And you have if we listen to like the episodes, you
from
can
start
hear,
to finish. Yeah.
you can hear your progression as far as like confidence, clarity in the way you speak, and you're just being comfortable.
Yeah, that's
you can
comfortable,
hear it.
bro. Yo,
Yeah.
I remember our early stages, fam. It's like we came a long way, bro.
Long way. And it was kind of like rapid too. Like,
Yeah,
we were doing a lot of recording like fast too.
true.
And like just that, like they call it exponential growth, right?
Mhm.
Like that how steep your
Yeah,
your learning curve. It was just, it was steep.
We was getting,
but we got it.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. Iron sharpens iron, bro. You push me, I'll push you, man. So we got it. We made it happen.
Yeah,
Hey.
Let's go.
I love it. I love it.
For me, it's probably a lot, but when it comes to like, it's just learning that like everything's a process, and like learning to be patient with the process. Even like I think I'm somewhat good with that with my own life, but when it comes to like doing something or like creating something, obviously you always want it to get to somewhere fast or get people to recognize you. Yeah. But just, I remember hearing it from DJ Mott in one of the earlier episodes. I think we talked during the episode or after, and he was just like, just be patient. People might not get hit right away, or you might not see consistency, but just keep going. Right. And he's one of the biggest DJs in Boston.
Yeah, big time.
He's booked every weekend for a wedding. He get traveled, taken. He get flown out. Right. And he takes him and his wife like, every few weekends they going on a wedding trip. So it's, he knows the process, right? From where he started doing home parties. Yeah. To traveling, doing awesome. DJing. So, just taking that into, the process. And I remember one day just being like discouraged, like, man, just looking at the data, how many people are listening and all that. And I kind of got like, it's just the ups and downs emotion. And I was down that day. And then I told myself not to focus on it, just keep going.
Right. Keep grinding.
And then I think the next day we dropped a promo and then the episode for whoever was that week. And then, skyrocketed. The interaction skyrocketed.
Nice.
And we're continue to progress. So like that for me is just showing me just to keep going.
That's dope, bro. Man, look, I'm glad I wasn't looking at the data because I'll be about to have a stroke on just looking at IG. I'm like, only got 5 likes off this post. I'll be about to have a whole meltdown, bro. So I'm glad I didn't see the data.
It's funny too, because you can look at like the likes, you get like 10 likes, but you get like 300 views.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what's more important?
The views,
the likes or the views?
Yeah. I want the message to get out there, so the views, baby.
Yeah. Hopefully, eventually, like when there's like sponsorships and stuff. Maybe, we might need more interaction. Like, hey, we have this many interactions. Right? But,
it's coming. Like you said, process, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. What about personally?
Ooh.
Personally.
Yeah. What have you learned through this process? Like through all the things that we've been talking about and development, manhood.
Man, it's a lot, man, but because I just had this experience recently at my grandmother's funeral, talking is therapy, bro. When I got up to speak about my grandmother, how great of a person she was, how many people she's blessed, the impact that she left, man, it's like that weight or that burden, that heaviness or whatever, just kind of just fell off of me, bro. Just expressing my gratitude and my joy and my love for her. Just put me in a better place of peace. But yeah, man, talking is therapy. Like just getting it out. You ever spoke with someone and they come to you and they're like, yo, I need you, I need to talk to someone. I need that advice, whoop-de-whoop. And just by them talking, they end up getting clarity, just talking. They ain't even getting the clarity from you, but because they're talking, and then the light comes on, the light bulb goes off. So yeah, talking is just therapy, man. I can't put it no better way than that, man. So when you open your mouth and you speak, it's just a rush of a new wave of energy, a new wave of hope, a new wave of life that comes with talking, releasing. Then when you release, you also gain something back. I don't know. I can't explain it. You kind of just...
It's like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
When you're talking, I'm thinking like two things. Sorry, we're like
you're good.
Going back and forth.
Please go ahead.
When you're talking, it's like two things come to mind. obviously for myself, knowing what it's like, but big picture, what is it like? What it's like for men to not speak about their lives and things they go through.
You've been there, bro.
Like you just talked about it as it's therapy. Like you released the weight of, the experience, of losing your grandmother. And so that helped you. That was therapy for you.
Yeah.
So imagine not doing it ever.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And a lot of men losing and, seeing people get shot or,
Agreed.
The Dr. Joyce DeGroy, post-traumatic slave syndrome. All of these things that we've seen and built up and
the
passed
trauma
down,
behind it all. Yeah.
Right. And never talking about it. Right. And so how pent up are we?
That's it.
Especially as men. And then as men in this world, we're in this society where, you got to be a man. You got to be tough.
Yeah.
Can't show emotion.
Yeah.
Or you're a little girl if you do.
Yeah, you can't talk, don't speak.
If you do.
Yeah, all of that.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
real.
There's so many negatives that to young boys that we get developed into this like mindset around
big time
emotion and communication.
See, and
manhood.
And not to cut you off, my bad, bro, but on the flip side about that, they don't talk about that pressure that builds up in the individual when they just either bursting or just collapsing or whatever. You have that so much negativity and weight inside of you, carrying that weight. That pressure eventually is going to build up if you don't release it. Just like the valve or whatever they always, the
valve,
pressure
burst pipes.
That's it, yeah.
Yep.
The pipes. That's us. That's men. Like if you don't talk, you're eventually going to burst. Like you can't hold on to that negativity and think you're just going to walk a prosperous, blessed life. It ain't going to happen. You're bound, whether it's now or 5 years or 10 years from now, you're going to burst and it ain't going to be good.
And imagine the pressure from work, at home.
That's it.
Your community.
Yeah.
Money, finances, all this
all
stuff.
Of that,
building
bro.
up.
Yep.
On top of all of that. And then you run into somebody that looks at you wrong.
Boom.
Or cuts you off on the highway.
Oh, man.
You had one too many drinks that night. And so,
you're going to flip mode.
Yeah. Now that release happens and now you have a life.
Oof, man.
That you have to live with, this prison system that's literally waiting for you to
consequences.
burst. Yeah.
That's real.
So, other thing that comes to mind, when you were talking about releasing in your communication, I lost it.
No, that's it, bro. It's just the talking is therapeutic, man. Yeah, talking is therapeutic, man. Release it, Joe.
Yeah, I think talking is huge, especially when someone's willing to just answer and willing to listen and then answer accordingly, of course. But, when you feel safe enough for someone to just hold whatever you have to say without judgment, without, they're really just there. There's a huge feeling in that because you can tell when someone's not paying attention, when they're not listening to you. But when you feel safe, to call your friend and say, hey, girl, what's up? Like, I just, and they literally just sit on the phone for an hour listening. They carry that with you. But then they also are there to console you and tell you it's going to be okay or give you the guidance that they best see fit. And so I can only imagine if more men just did that. Just a simple, like, yo, bro, like, today was not it, right? I have a good friend of mine from high school who actually, like, told me he was having a hard mental day. And I felt so honored that he was willing to even tell me that because he could have not told me. And then we talked later that evening so he could tell me more. And I was like, I'm happy that you were willing to just talk, right? Because you could have, and it was a lot of really hard stuff and it was traumatic stuff. But the fact that he was willing, I'm like, oh, this is great improvement. This is good. Right? And we need more young men to do that. We need them to know it is perfectly okay to feel because you are human, right? And it's perfectly okay to feel pain because you're a human. And we're not expecting you to hold on to it and continue with your regular day because it's going to affect everything that you involve yourself in. It's going to affect your job. It's going to affect how you see yourself. It's going to affect the food that you eat. It's going to affect the people you interact with. It's going to affect your, like, everything. It seeps into everything. So it's just, I'm with you. Like, talk it out. Even if you don't want to go to a therapist yet, that's cool. But talk it with somebody you trust.
Absolutely.
And someone who's willing to hold that with you because you can't hold it yourself.
Dang,
right?
Boy, that sent chills on my spine. For real, like when she broke down, like it infects other things in your life. Like I just saw just the mass contamination, yo. It's like, yo, it's crazy, man. Yeah, talk that thing up.
Absolutely. All right. So what were some truths that you heard that were hard to hear during the podcast? So certain things that people said that you're like, wow, that makes perfect sense, but also I'm uncomfortable, but this is important. What were some things like that?
That's a great one. I think the one thing that comes to mind was with Christina DeSoto, the fitness trainer, and she's in school to become a therapist and kind of unify those two. And it wasn't really, I think a lot of that episode really like spoke, you know, she was talking about toxic masculinity a lot, and you know, the impact on women, things like that. But the biggest thing that impacted me was not even on the episode, just our conversation afterwards.
Okay.
And we were talking about fears, and she was challenging me a lot. And she was like, what are you afraid of? And we were talking about dating and relationships at the time. And I was like, she was like, are you afraid of love? And I was like, nah. You know, that man stepped up, was like, I ain't afraid of love. Right. And then I sat there for a second, I was like, yeah, that's it. And that's in this journey, I realized like that is like one of my ultimate fears. Like being that, and I think I talked to Chris recently about it, like being that vulnerable, being that open, being that like my guard is down, you know, with you. It might be up for the world, but my guard should be down with you. And then you just don't know. Right? Like you don't know. And then there's gonna be, you know, ups and downs, but just always having to keep like putting the guard down. And that's I know my next biggest step, one of my next biggest hurdles. And like recently having an experience where I felt a connection.
That's good.
And I think, you know, have been talking about it, that I felt the connection was great, and I thank God for it, because I realized that I think that's what's been missing for these last few years. Since an old relationship, I haven't really maybe even allowed myself to feel that type of connection. Right. Just walking together, like, man, like, you know, emotions is bubbling up, right? What is? I hate this. Because it's uncontrollable. Like, that's an emotion. So now, how do I manage this? That's been great, because I've realized just within myself with that the waves of emotions, you know, I go from really excited to really mad with myself. Frustrated that I actually have these emotions. Oh wow, yeah. And that I'm actually vulnerable, you know, or I can be. So how do I pull away from this as fast as I can? This is what I've always done. Right. And realizing that, like, okay, it might not be time for this yet, but just sit in it. Right. You know what I mean? And feel it, experience it. And then it was like waves of emotion: frustration, anger, sadness, fear. And then I was like, God, you know, I need your help. And then I think that next morning, because I think we don't, as men, for the most part, you know, they say that, you know, whatever you don't conquer or have control over controls you. Right. And so men, we talk about like, I'm not emotional. I'm a man, da da da. So that means that we're controlled by emotion. Right. And we don't even realize it, because we think that that's not a man, but you actually are controlled by your emotions.
That's good.
Whether you popping off at somebody or that's all emotion.
Exactly.
You at the basketball court, now you ready to fight because they give you an elbow. It's emotion. Right. You know, you uncontrollable. You don't have balance or peace within yourself to manage situations, right? That's why basketball is one of the greatest, like, microcosms of life. You can see it all on the court. How somebody might manage their life. So you can see it play out. And then that next morning, like, it was funny, like, this first song that came on was this worship song, and I broke down and crying, just driving. I was so, God, like just thanking him for how far that I've come.
Right.
You know, everything, the whole process, mentally, emotionally, and then to feel that again. I don't even remember the last time I really felt worship. Like I have understood, I can hear you, a guidance. I can, feel the leading.
Right.
I can hear, through your word, I can see it. But that feeling of worship, I haven't felt in a long time. So to me, it was like, God is like, okay, this is the process now. Open up this bottle that you've had corked, right, of emotion. Now let's work through it. And you don't realize as a man, it's like, all right, why am I eating so much bad stuff? Why do I want to drink?
Right. Come on, bro.
Why do I want to? Yeah, because it's undealt with emotion.
Exactly.
My trigger is to just go back to what's safe.
Yeah.
Right.
What helps me pacify it. So it's like, oh man, I got to work through it. So yeah, that's the one thing that came up in this process of interviews that I've seen, and this was months later.
Wow.
Start to really play out. And I think that's one of the biggest things about, if people are listening to us to think maybe we're talking about subjects like we got it together.
Yeah, no, we're going
this
through
our
this
process
journey.
too.
Yeah, we're going through this thing too.
Yeah, we're literally just talking about it.
Right.
Because it's just following lead, like follow us as we follow each other and follow those ahead of us.
Right.
So that we all can do this, process together to then lead those that need it. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's like snaps to you, because that's a lot of mental processing. That's a lot of emotional processing. That's also taking, having faith that the Lord will walk you through that, because, they're the deepest parts of our hearts that we don't even realize we need help with. And God is like, hey, I need you to pay attention to this part. And it's like, no, I'm cool. But he's constantly calling on to you and asking you, hey, trust me here too, because I will take care of it better than you could ever think of, right? So the fact that you were willing to do that and that you sought that out consistently, like, that's amazing. And that's really much encouraged for all people to do. There are parts of ourselves we don't know, but the Lord knows it because he created us. So allow him to work in those inner parts of you. So proud of you for that. That's awesome.
And I think, like, really quick, that the best thing about it, like, if you are trying to do something where you're going to lead others or teach others, you kind of have to go through it too.
You do.
Facts.
And that's what I'm realizing, like, and I've learned it the last few years. Even when it had come to the money, where I had a vision and I was looking at all these areas of health, mental, emotional, spiritual. And from that moment, it was like, I actually had to go through it. I had to go through the mental journey, where I'm depression and all that. After that, I had vision. And then it's like, I'm going down the valley. And I had to go through the process. My finances, pitfall. I had to go through that process. Like, everything's been processed. So, yeah, it's important that whatever you're going to teach or lead, or you have to go through.
Right. Absolutely.
Universe is funny that way, bro. Yeah, look, and people think church is only on Sunday, man. You just got a word from Pastor Ben and Pastor Stacy a while ago, yo. Church 24/7, man. Yo, man, for me is when Sister Tamara came through this joint, and that I am enough, man. Yo, that joint just stayed with me, bro. Because to be real, his brothers out here that walk around with, low self-esteem, no confidence, none of that, bro. And it stems from, maybe a bad relationship or, something going on within the family, work or whatever, just as a man and the things that we go through. I mean, feeling like, I'm not making enough money, or I'm not, being a good provider. I'm not, man enough for this, man enough for that, et cetera, et cetera. So much stuff, man. But truth be told, like, you are enough. How you are right now, you are enough. Like, you have to believe that, you have to feel that, you have to walk that. And then when you walk in that, when you start believing that you are enough, that's when prosperity starts to come. That's when, the confidence, that's where the strength and everything starts to come into play. Just me personally, like you said, we walking this thing out, like, we don't have it all together. Like, I walked through that valley of having low self-esteem or whatever the case may be, thinking that, I'm not enough. I need to, do this, do that. Nah, fam, like, I really am enough. Like, when I think back on my life and just recently, bro, just, past 2 or 3 years, like moving from one state to another and, having to pick things up and, start all over again. Like, bro, isn't just not too many people that can do that and do it successfully, So me being enough and coming to a new state, making new friends, forming new family, new bonds, holding down a nice career, providing, like, I am doing enough, being a positive example for the community. Like, I am enough. Like, what I want to say, man, I just had it at the top of my head. But yeah, anyways, man, just walking a good life, just being a wholesome, decent Christian. Like, I am enough, fam. Like, I'm making an impact. All the things that I've said that I wanted to do from birth, like, I'm doing it. Like, I am enough. Like, you got to walk around with that confidence. And the harsh truth for me too is, gosh, I forgot who said it, but it still stuck with me too. Sometimes us men, I think maybe it was me and you, but sometimes us men, as men, we do have to do better though at the same time. Like, because so much rides on our shoulders, like the community, family, schools, church, or whatever. Like, the way we lead, everything else follows behind that. So if I'm out here acting a fool, I'm out here acting crazy, then the people behind me are going to start acting crazy. But if I'm leading right, if I'm walking right, if I'm talking right, if I'm speaking right, I'm doing the right things, then that community that's behind me, those good seeds are planted, and everything starts to flourish how it should be. So being just that example, I'm not just Chris Henson, whatever, the bus driver. I'm Chris Henson, the motivator. I'm Chris Henson, the person that inspires. I'm Chris Henson, the person that, other kids and youth, they look at me. And so if I'm not doing what I need to be doing as a man, then the community behind me is going to suffer. Like, that's us. When men lead right, everything else falls into place. Everything's in order. When men are leading correctly. But that's the harsh truth for me.
I love it.
It's like, you are enough.
Yeah.
Right? Like what you were saying, like, you are enough, I'm enough, you're enough. But, like, what you're doing's not enough. You know what I mean? Like, you're capable of doing more. You have the capacity to do more. So whatever that is that you're not doing more of, it's not enough. But you are enough. Real. You know what I mean? Like, you as a person, as a man or woman, like, you're enough within yourself to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. To do whatever you're not doing, you're enough to do it. You're enough to be it. You're enough. It's
a lot of unlocked potential out there, bro. Untapped potential ain't even been touched yet. And it's there. Like God said, yo, everything that you have need of, it's already inside of you, fam. You just got to activate that joint. Like, literally, if, just walk in it. Like, if you want to start a business, if you want to start a podcast, if you want to do this, do that, it's in you. You just need to walk it out. Just active. That's how you activate it. Just take that first step and go. So yeah, you're right.
It's like that, the Lion King. It always comes to mind.
It's a dope movie, bro.
Simba going hang with Timon and Pumbaa.
Right.
Yeah.
Life is good. Kumbaya.
Right.
No problems.
Yeah.
But you're not enough.
Yeah.
You're not doing enough. You was built to run it.
Right.
That's yours. They reliant on you.
Yeah.
And Nala had to come remind them.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, right? She did.
Come through, Queen.
This is cool. Yeah. This little butterflies we got is cool, but nah.
Not like get it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not doing what you supposed. I need you. We need you.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's the same thing for us. Like, you are enough. Yeah, that's been fun, but like, distractions are keeping you from being who you need to be.
Yes.
True.
Listen, every time, so like 3 different things went through my mind when you guys were talking. I'm going to go back to you speaking about, letting your guard down. It made me think of Christ, right? Every single time Christ makes an active decision to love us. He just loves us in general. And that's a difficult place to be when you're when you're saying, I love you to someone, you are opening a floodgate of them possibly hurting you. And we hurt Christ all the time with everything that we do, but he still loves us through that every single time. So it made me think of that and how we can pray and ask him to help us receive the person we're supposed to receive accordingly. Because I think that's a big part of it too in relationships. From what I've seen, it's like, you may want to, but also you're human and you have a sinful heart, and your natural inclination may not always to be like, oh my God, I love you. It could very much be like, you get on my nerves right now. But it's like, Lord, help me love the person that you're giving me according to your will. And then that floodgate will open accordingly too. So it made me think about that. And then when you were talking about I am enough, that's something that I had to learn over time growing up as a woman too. Like I never thought I was enough. And I had to ask the Holy Spirit to help me see what he saw in me. And that took time. That still takes time, right? So it's because I've learned that he knows how he made me. He knew me before anybody else did. He has more thoughts of me than the number of sand in this world. Okay, God, now show me what you see in me so that I can walk according to your will as well, right? So that confidence isn't even because it's coming from me, but it's knowing that the Lord sees me and sees me as enough and worth it. So for the young men out there, like, it's important to know that, like, because you were created, because he thought of you, that's all that matters. Yeah. No amount of money, no car, no jewelry, no amount of girls you could talk to gives you your worth. It is simply because the Father made you, and the unlocked potentials that you're talking about. That's one of my favorite things. That's something I'm very passionate about is, you don't even know what you got. That's the coolest part. It's a journey, but that's worth it because you have the Father on your side who's willing to walk you through that journey. And there's no rush because he got the pace for you. So slow down. It's okay. We're not expecting you to have it all together right now. Okay, it takes time. We get it. But also, like you said, you got to take the steps, right? You got to grow up. You got to make some hard decisions that you're not going to like right now. But down the road, the prosperity that's going to come, if the family that you want, the kids that you want, the community that you want to build will come because the Lord will just work through you. True. And you're not even going to realize it. But one day you're going to look back 20 years from now and be like, yo, what? How did we get here? And then you look back at your life story and you're like, oh, Jesus, you were working with me here, and here, and here for this moment 50 years from now. Got it, right? So your worth is not set because of what we got here. It's set because Jesus made you, period.
Man, come through heavy with the word, Sister Stacey. For real. I keep saying, bro, church ain't on Sundays only, man.
Church is every day. Church is within us.
Yeah, it is, yeah. That's what's
absolutely.
up.
When 2 or 3 are gathered, they say.
Hello, fellowship.
Thank
That's
you,
it.
man, for real. I felt that. That's real.
Yeah.
Never forget it. Okay, how has this podcast impacted your life? I know it's so broad, right?
No.
But how has it impacted your life?
Just do better. I can't stand hypocrites.
Okay.
So it's like I can't come in here and say, we need to do this, we need to do this and do that as men. And, I'm giving, motivation, and I'm speaking highly of how men need to act, etc. And I go out these doors and do the total opposite. So I'm like, Chris, that's forbidden. You can't do that, fam. So as far as how it impacted me, I'm doing my best to walk upright every single day, every single second. Even just what you said, I'm married. So sometimes, you have that, you want to love on them. But sometimes that, like you said, sometimes we got that sinful heart is like, get away from me. I don't want to, but it's not even that. I can't even have room for that. Like I have to display godly manners. As a husband, I got to display, just overall goodness for my household, because my household thrive as I thrive. You feel me? So for me, it's just keep doing better. Just walk right, talk right, act right, and just don't be a hypocrite. I don't want to be that. I don't want to. It'll break my heart if a young man is listening to this podcast and he's going off of something that I say he should be doing, and he see me doing something else outside in the world, cutting up. He approaches me and like, hey, you said do such and such, but you're doing this. That'll break my heart. So I'm like, I can't be that dude.
That's powerful. I just something you said that made me think of. Anyway, I thought there was something there.
It'll come back.
No worries, it'll come back.
That I wanted to talk about, but Yeah, on those lines too. I think for me, it's been like, you know, like you've put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to do it.
True.
You know what I mean? Like you said, there's no excuse now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the excuses you might have had went out the window as soon as you started.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think there's something about it that within me never really learned. Kind of like in life, you know, growing up, you know, almost quit in everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you look, maybe I probably quit in most of my relationships, right?
Yeah.
Like when it got hard, I'm good. You know, when I was a kid playing sports, you know, I remember playing baseball. The first sport I ever played, I didn't like the coach, so I stopped playing. But I love playing baseball. But because I was mad at the coach and however he talked to me,
Right.
you know, and a young kid has issues with male authority, you know.
Yeah.
And then my mom's like, oh, okay.
Right.
You know, for me, I'm like, for what? No.
Mm-hmm.
Let's deal with it. You know, let's go talk to coach.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get back out there and play. You know,
Yeah.
like work through that. Because it's something about like once you start it, you know, although it might not be what you want, it might not be relationships. You know, that doesn't directly translate to relationships,
Yeah.
but
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying? If you start something, you know, if you start your, you know, education to get a degree,
Yeah.
commit to it.
Yep.
It might not be, maybe along the way you change it. That's fine. Finish.
Right.
You know, and that's another thing that I, you know, struggled with all these years.
Mm-hmm.
So to me now it's like, okay, you know, this is coming out of me. This is not anything, or it's coming out of us. Like it's not anything that's like society saying that I should do, that I'm not fully connected to, where I'm like, I'll waver on. But now it's like, okay, no, you know, commitment.
Right.
You know, I think we had an episode on commitment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least we talked about it and how important it is for men, you know, to learn commitment. To go back to what you were saying, that's something I always want to learn. I realized recently that I need to learn, and most men probably do, but how to, like, it's not about me. You know, like, I'm the foundation of this house. You know, and I bear the weight of it all. So then whatever comes my way, I have to have my arms down, you know, palms open, you know, no sword, no shield, and bear it. You know, like Christ, bear it. Because if we turn and we have so much more power, and our words have, you know, strike a little bit deeper, you know. You know, obviously our physical power strikes harder, you know, so like our responses to these things matter more. Not that they matter more, but they have a greater impact.
They do.
So it's, okay, how do I lay down myself, what you're saying, to then turn and give love, right? That's, I'm like, I remember talking to one of my boys recently, like, man, that's what I need. That's what I need to learn, you know? So then when I get into that situation, obviously I'm not going to know it right away. It's a process,
It's a
right?
learning,
You got to
man. Look,
learn.
I'm still learning, bro.
Right. So yeah, I applaud you, and I'm like, I got to get there one day.
Yeah. You already there.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
So it's commitment,
practice.
but then
That's
that's a powerful thing.
nice.
It takes time.
It do.
I want to remind you guys that, like, you really are not doing this by yourself too. That's the best part. Like, Jesus literally is waiting for you to be like, hey, what's up? Right. And the more you invite his presence in that, letting it all out, the more you realize, like, the strength that he gives you can do it. And that in itself, it's like even more exciting because, like, oh snap, like that's my superpower right there, is because I have Christ. right? And I can do this because I have him. And it's not to say that you won't feel the natural human reaction, right? That doesn't mean you're not going to be upset one day. That doesn't mean you're not going to be angry. It's not going to be hard. You're not going to feel overwhelmed. But it's knowing that the energy you're tapping into is like everlasting. That's not going anywhere. And so you can do it. It just takes trusting him in that too, because that's what God's love language is. It's trust. Once we trust him, it's just a constant flow of, I got you. Look at this. I got you. Look at this. I got you.
Dope.
Over and over and over again. And like, I can't encourage people enough to like remember that. Like, literally, God cares about things that you don't even realize you need to care about, and He wants to walk you in that. So you're not even, the process of going through it, you're not even doing it by yourself. So once you realize He's with you, helping you realize it, He's there walking with you to get through it, and then He's with you when you've won it. And then rinse, repeat, recycle. Like, you're just constantly doing that and getting better. And the people around you benefit like crazy because they're like, yo, what's going on with you? And you're looking like, oh no, like, I'm just walking. Like, I'm just doing what Jesus told me to do today, And so I think if more men realize that too, they wouldn't feel as heavy, right? Because Christ is carrying that for you instead.
Yeah,
So.
amen to that.
He said, my yoke is easy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's real.
And my burden is light.
Exactly. And trust me, some of the things we be feeling, we need to do that switch real quick because it's hard out here.
It's like, God, I can't eat.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's it, yo. Just take it.
Just take it. Exactly.
Man, God is good.
Amen.
Indeed.
Okay. How has this podcast taught you about grace?
Grace.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that comes to my mind is the thing that I've learned this summer about myself when it comes to just my overall interactions with people.
Mm-hmm.
That I need to be tender. Like, my first response is tough love for the most part. It's balance. I know when sometimes, but sometimes it's just like, yo, what's your problem? Instead of tenderness, asking a question like, oh, why would you do that? What are your thoughts? Or how do you feel? Or, understanding someone. It's just, oh, this ain't going the way I want it to go. That control. So then now I have to respond with force. So now tenderness is responding in love, in care. And so to me, that's when I think about the grace, it's that difference in response.
Right.
Like, obviously my flesh, when you cut me off, it deserves
Ready.
it deserves a tough response. But it's like, what? I can't control that.
Facts.
I can't actually control what you said or do to me.
Right.
Only thing I can control is my response to you.
Exactly.
And I think that's grace.
Mm-hmm.
Our tenderness with people is grace.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's what has it taught me about it is that I need more of it. Right? More patience and more tenderness with people. And I'm learning it. And I think that probably connects to me just feeling more, and God is like, all right, well, let me uncork this bottle of emotion so you can feel more.
That's good.
So you can be more tender, right? So your emotions can connect to people more in the different scenarios. So you have more grace, more room for grace.
Yeah, because you understand.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right.
Facts. That's what I was finna get at right there. Is just why, seeking to understand the individual, why they're doing this. Like I said, someone cut you off too. Someone did it. Someone did it while I was on my way here. But it's the why. Dude could be having a bad day. Wife probably got on his nerves. Probably could have got fired or something like that. You never know. Sometimes you just, for grace, just putting yourself in that individual's shoes. You know what I mean? Kind of tapping into, why they're doing this. Why is this, individual getting on the bus and cursing? What's going on with them? Having that talk, seeking understanding, like, why are you behaving this way? Why are you thinking this way? So for me, that's where the grace comes in, just seeking a deeper clarity and understanding of why people do what they do, good or bad.
I love it. That's awesome. Grace is such a unmerited gift, but it's so important because it allows us to carry our lives accordingly. Christ gives us grace literally every single second of our day. The things that we deserve a reaction to, he pulls back and he's like, I'm going to love you through this instead, right? So he like chooses how to respond to our behaviors, even when they hurt him the most. And it's just so important to carry that grace with ourselves too. I don't think people are patient enough with themselves because they feel like they have to like move and get to this one place. And like, it's important to know, like, you're going through a process too. Your timeline is not meant to look like the person next to you because they're a whole different other human. So take some time. It's okay, you know? So just that reminder is really, really important. So what is something that you guys learned from one another while working together and doing this amazing work?
Man, yo, Ben's that dude, Joe. He's that dude, man. Now, it may seem surface, but just looking at this brother's tenacity and his consistency, his growth, because I knew him before he even dived into this business. And he touched on some of the things about, not finishing. That's one of them. You sticking this thing out, through the good and the bad. You see some of the bad and you're like, let's keep pushing, let's keep rolling. The Ben of old, you probably wouldn't have did that, So it's beautiful to see my boy's growth and how he's just matured as a man overall, spiritually, mentally, physically, he's doing his thing. It's just great to see another brother just thrive and shine, I guess, man. They just, I don't know. It just brings a joy to me just seeing his elevation, man. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I appreciate hearing.
Yeah, bro. You're doing it, man. You're doing it, bro.
That's good to hear.
You're killing it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I learned from Chris is like it's like, I don't even know if consistency is the word. I don't know. You're just always there. If somebody needs you, if somebody needs a word, if just your energy is always there. It's like never really seen you too high, never seen you too low.
Yeah.
But you always like where you need to be, for those that might need it, whether you know it or not, and seeing that helps like push me to do the same, or to just knowing that he's gonna be there. I can't even waver, even when I want to waver. Good.
It keeps you.
Yeah. It's like, all right, well, I gotta be good. Even when I might not want to show up, Chris is gonna be there. And you know what I mean? Like,
that's real.
Awesome.
And I know
That's
it's like
real.
if it's 7 o'clock, he's probably gonna be there early. So even if I want to not come, I gotta say it like 5 o'clock. Right? So if I'm thinking it like 5:45, 6, he probably already on the road.
He's already there.
So I'm like, I gotta be there. Like, and those are the times where it's either long days or it's hard.
Right.
It's like that. That's a man, right? Like, that's manhood, is no matter what, being there, no matter what, doing what needs to be done, no matter what, showing up, hard work, the struggle, the running 2 miles when you don't want to, pushing other people, to do it because you're doing it,
right?
Like, now no one else around you has the excuse because you just modeling it, like, and that's you.
That's dope,
So
bro.
that's
I appreciate
that helps me to model what you saying. That's coming from you.
Hey, man, bro, look, neither one of us are good with compliments.
True.
Neither one of us are good with it, but I just heard accountability, man.
Yeah.
And as men, like, that's so strong. Like, we need that to hold each other accountable and then walk in a spirit of accountability. Like, I'm keeping myself as an individual accountable, like following up, I don't feel like doing the 2 miles, but I'm gonna get up and do it and post about it so someone else could, follow suit as well, man. Right. But holding yourself accountable because someone else is watching you and they want to feed off that accountability too. So I appreciate that, bro. That gave me motivation to keep pushing.
Yeah. And I think so, like, one thing, and so I talked to like one of my other boys recently about the situation where in dating you gotta get all the bubbles and stuff, the excitement. And, the advice I was given was, all you got to do is have sex.
Yeah.
And it'll get out it'll knock that out the way. So you'll be good after that. Whether she likes you or not, you just kind of get what you need off, and then that'll help you to, get back to being a man, right?
Real.
Like, yeah. And I was like, nah,
that's not it.
right? Like, that's not my solution.
Yeah.
And I know if I was to call Chris, that wouldn't even be in.
That's dope.
That wouldn't even be in the.
Yeah.
Like the realm, it wouldn't have came into Chris's like atmosphere.
Right. It's like, no.
Before he even said it, it wouldn't have been in his environment.
Right.
To then like, pull that out the universe, they say, and then give it to me. No, he would. Why is this over here?
Right.
It knocks it out the way. Like, get that out of here. That don't even belong over here. Right?
That's dope, man.
So like, that's just the difference when you talk to somebody that's grounded, believes what they believe, is consistent, and that's a man. Like, that's manhood. So all in all,
that's true.
That's what we're trying to do for ourselves and for other people, for each other. So it's good to hear that, I show some of it to you.
Yeah, you
right?
do, bro, big time,
and you
man.
show it to me, so I appreciate hearing it.
Man, look, there it is. Follow then lead. Did y'all catch that?
Yeah, we doing it for each
man.
other.
I wish you guys could see the smiles on their faces, guys. It is so beautiful. I'm loving all of it because it's so authentic, and it just really shows like the power and the impact of what you guys do and the conversations you've had in the series of interviews. So my last question for you guys is, what are you looking forward to for this next upcoming season? What is something you're looking forward to?
Man, shoot. For the Instagram numbers to go up? Nah.
Straight up.
Wow, man. Just more of this, what we're already doing. The foundation is there already. We just got to keep building on it. It's more people getting saved, more people being impacted by goodness, more people catching on to the vision of, follow then lead. I view us as the Justice League at the moment, Superman, Batman, and
That's
Wonder
right.
Woman. I'm waiting for the rest of the crew to come.
Justice League,
I'm waiting for the rest of the crew to come up to the little table that they have, man. So just more members getting involved, more sponsorships, more just people just growing and being better. Like when I think about follow then lead, I think about community.
Right.
I just want to see community grow and flourish. How I used to be back in the 60s and 70s. I just want to see our people be better. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that's dope.
I love it.
I'm looking forward to just everything. When it comes to the plans, releasing the logo for people to see the logo.
Yeah.
Merchandise, just kind of getting it out there. Having video.
Yeah.
True.
On the YouTube, and even just releasing more, content of us talking, clips and things like that. That's pretty dope. I'm excited for that. I'm just excited to, and then even just opportunities to mentor or just even interact with the youth more, and build relationships, and then just whatever else is to come. But I'm just excited for the work. That's probably what I would say.
Absolutely.
Just more work. I'm excited.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations, guys. Season 1. That's work, and you guys did that. So I'm really proud of you.
Clap.
I'm really proud of you. Hey.
All right, before we go,
Yes.
questions for you.
Hey, yo, you read my mind, bro. I was like, yo, you ain't getting out that easy, man. Go ahead and hit it. I was ready to see. That's why that's my dude, man.
We connected.
I didn't think it was. I was like, I hope they don't. No.
Yeah,
It was coming, yo.
Too.
It was coming.
All right, so what have so far, what you've listened to, just your connection and relationship that we're building with us or together. I think what is something you learned about manhood from us, maybe?
I think I learned that there really much is a willingness to get better. I know a lot of men. I've seen some great examples of manhood in my life. But those are for like my inner circle. You don't always see it outside of that. And it's really amazing to see it outside of what I'm used to. and seeing the conversations. And I think, like, I'm so proud of you guys. Granted, I just got here, but I'm really proud of you because this is like the essential stuff that, you know, literally like fuels families. And I'm a big believer in family. And so the fact that you guys are constantly trying and working and pushing through that, I'm like, yo, like, manhood is really about perseverance. It's really about consistently trying. It's not necessarily about having it be perfect, but it's about being willing always and surrendering always, right, to Christ and allowing him to work in that when we don't want to. And so I've definitely felt that here. And I've definitely felt really protected here, which is like really awesome. And I appreciate that from you guys. I definitely feel like from the second I walked in, I was like, this is different. I haven't had this often. I've had it, but not often. And I really love that it's from like two people I just met and they're really awesome and genuine about their journey. Because it's really easy to just, you know, be superficial and whatever, let's just talk about it. But to actually be empowering and to actually, you know, you guys stay gassing me up and I can't take it. But to actually receive that and, you know, me, you know, listening and where I am in my life, it's like, it couldn't have been a perfect timing. So I'm grateful to God for that as well. So I think that's what I learned from you guys, like the tenderness that you were talking about. I get that from here. And it's a powerful one. It's not like a weak, meek type situation. It's very much like intentional. And that's what you guys have been teaching me. And it's amazing.
That's dope. That's dope. My question.
Chris has been ready.
He was ready.
Nah, it ain't. It's lightweight, man. She got that. Since you came, yo, Stacey, you've been phenomenal, helpful. Yeah, man. Like seriously, I mean, you just got done talking about gassing you up. And here I go.
Yeah, Chris.
I can't help it, man. Like
let her have it.
Yeah, yo, like when you see good people come in, man, it's like, yo, I want to give you your flowers and props now. So,
I appreciate that. Thank
And
you.
it's early. It's like a seed to what is gonna be.
Fact, you ain't lying, yo. She just been in the mix for 2 weeks.
Glimpse of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yo. She came through like she been there for 4 years, and even though it only been up 1 year. So
Yeah. And it's crazy because it's like, sorry to cut you off.
No,
this is exactly what we were talking about for a while. What we needed.
Absolutely.
You know, and we made a tough choice early on about, you know, an individual that was with us, and then was like, this isn't it. This isn't the direction. It was a hard decision.
Absolutely.
But God is good.
Amen. Yeah, you bring it all together. Like you was that missing link, and it's dope. You know, just the way you flow. You talk about God, you talk about the business, the podcast, and, you know, community, just everything across the board. And you bring just this certain wittiness and intellect that's just phenomenal. It's grand. I like it. It's dope.
Appreciate that.
It's banging, man. I forgot what I was going to
My
ask.
bad.
Nah, I was just joking. I still got it. It's lightweight. You good. So we're going into season 2, and you already know you're going to play a huge role in that. What?
No pressure.
No pressure.
What are you expecting to see out of season 2?
Oh man. To be honest with you, I don't have expectations because God continues to blow them away. Every single time I think that it's going to look a specific way, he's like, nah, I got better. And that's what this current season of my life has been like. Every single time he gives me a glimpse of what something's supposed to look like, he just magnifies it in a way that I would have never thought of. And, you know, even being a part of the team now, you know, I would have never thought I'd be part of a podcast team. Like, you couldn't have told 18-year-old Stacey that. She would have looked at you like you were crazy. Like, why would I speak on a microphone talking about this stuff with a bunch of dudes? Like, why would I do that? You know? But, you know, the Lord prepares you. As you continue to say yes to him every single day, he prepares you for things you didn't even know you were getting prepared for. And so, you know, I know everything happens for a reason. I have no idea what the next step looks like, but I'm so excited to see what God does through us, with us, for others. I'm very excited to see, you know, what our brains come up, you know, how he downloads and tells us things. You know, whenever I have an idea, I let you guys know. I call Ben. I'm like, yo, Ben, I got an idea. Because it clicks so quickly.
Yeah.
But it's so exciting because you guys are also very receptive. And I'm like, God's been preparing your hearts for this. And he's been preparing me for this. So I can't wait what he's preparing us for, right? So I think that's, if any expectation, it's knowing that God is about to blow our minds in this work. And it's going to literally enrich our spirits, but also feed whoever we're supposed to feed in this work. Yeah.
You know what I like the most? No one mentioned anything about money.
That's crazy.
You know, and that's how I know God is definitely, he's already blessing, but like you said, he's going to enrich this thing. The motive ain't money.
No.
You know, the motive ain't, to get rich. The motive is the people.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, bro. I like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right. I have another question for you.
Okay.
What is like your biggest challenge with, I mean, you just said it sounds like it's so easy, but like maybe what can you foresee as a challenge in even, maybe a hard thing, but like business wise, or how we manage things, or, like coordination, structure, like, the administration,
Right.
Yeah.
And
don't be shy.
No, I won't. I got you. No, I think
She was like, hold on.
Yeah.
Now I'm nervous.
Like, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
Don't
because
be
she was like,
nervous.
oh, okay, cool. No problem.
No,
all
no.
I needed was you to ask me. That's what it seemed like.
That's light work. She got this.
No, that it's more like God's really teaching me a lot while working in my business now. And it's not easy. Whoever is out here telling people that making your own business is easy, it's not. It's really hard. Sometimes you want to put your face in a hole because you're just like, I don't want to deal with anything. But for me, I've learned to trust God in this process. I don't trust the process. I trust God in the process, right? And so I've had to be patient with myself. And so I think one thing for me is, and also I like things a specific type of way. And I've had to learn how to like calm myself down and say, pay attention to everything that's around you. So something that I foresee might just be like our ideas, because we are very strong-minded individuals. It's like, how would we, the challenge of bringing it together. I think that's really it. Like the challenge of bringing it together, because we are all very receptive to one another and willing to listen. But it's like, how do we bring it as one piece that makes sense, so that when we put it out there, it makes sense to the others that need to hear it. And that's really asking the Holy Spirit to work in us to continue to, make us a one, like a union, a whole unison situation. So I can see that being a thing. But other than that, you guys are chill. Like, it's great. It's wonderful. You guys don't give me headaches. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's I remember one thing that Ben would touch on and just, I guess, kind of like pray about or hope for or wish for or whatever, that no one have egos when they come in. No egos.
I said basketball too.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever we would get together like basketball,
Yeah.
it would always be like, God, allow us to keep our competitive nature high, but our aggression down.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
good.
attainable.
Yep.
My bad.
No, that was it. That was good, bro. I just wanted to touch on that. Like, it's no egos. So, like, when you talk about everyone being receptive towards each other, that's it. Like, I hear you, you hear me, you hear me, I hear you. We find a solution, boom, bring that thing together.
Yeah.
No ego. Someone with an ego be like, no, my idea's better.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. Like,
that's not productive to anybody.
Not
It's
at all.
about you.
Right.
Exactly.
It's like we go through these things at work where they do the personality assessments, right?
Yeah.
And I sent you guys the one that I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
I ain't did mine yet, but that's dope. I did one back in the day,
Yeah.
but I need to do a new one.
We'll do one.
Yeah.
So my personality traits are like red and green. And so on the color scale, it's for those that are listening, it's called Insights. Insights Discovery. It's just another one of those, like, therapy. Anyway, so red is like, you would say dominant, aggressive, go-getters, alpha type. Green is like, oh, let's work together. Let's work it out. Yellow is really bubbly people that are just constantly in your face and all excitable.
Right.
And blue are very like data driven, want to focus on the numbers, information, and there's just like, there's so much more about it, but that's kind of like the general sense. And for me, I split between two. I'm what they call a creative type because I have both red and green dominant. And that's rare. People don't really have opposites that are dominant. They usually like maybe, so it's top left is blue, top right is red, bottom right is yellow, and bottom left is green. So then you'll see the opposites, red and green.
Got it.
And blue and yellow opposite. So for me being red and green, it's like I basically have to, in every situation, come to it like, okay, then what am I going to be now?
That's good.
I have to
like
decide.
that.
Like, I know I'm like, maybe it's just being self-aware that, okay, me being red right now might not be necessary.
Right.
What might not even be helpful. Because if everybody wants to be red, we just all gonna be clashing,
Right.
playing bumper cars.
Just messy.
We're not going anywhere.
Right.
So then green is necessary to be collaborative, to be like,
Right.
okay, let's work together. And so I'm learning consciously. It's always about being green until something needs to be done.
Right.
Nice.
Like decisions need to be made. It's like, okay, if we're all gonna be nice, but no, okay, let's go this way. Right? It's easy. So let's go that way. And I think to your point, for like the podcast, we're always like, we have like the vision, similar to like how we structure our shows. Like, it's the skeleton, and whatever creative ideas flow within the framework of what we're doing, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Like if it's mine, if it's yours, oh, I like that better, let's do it. You like it, well, it's your idea, boom, let's go. I'm not that creative anyway. Go ahead, it's a good idea, let's go. That's, I don't even want to think about most of that stuff. I don't want to worry about to me it's like a little detail.
Right.
I think like roots of things and like big pictures.
Right.
And so like the how, the
Yeah, me
details
too.
in between is like, it doesn't matter. As long as it is within the direction
Exactly.
that we
Yep.
need to go. I
Yep.
Right.
don't care.
I like that.
Oh, that's a great idea. And then if I feel strongly, then I'll do it. I'm like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yo, beautiful, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. No more questions for me? I'm off the hook now?
Y'all off the hot seat, huh?
Yeah, I think I don't really have anything.
Nah, I'm good, man. Light work, like I
Okay,
said.
so our last one, I lied. What have you learned the most? Maybe about yourself, about the podcast?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think I've learned that, I just keep thinking about my inner child. I keep thinking about who I was when I was like 10, 12, when I was 16, and like who I thought I was going to be, or, who I was then. And I just never thought I'd be here. Like, I just didn't think that I would be this type of person. But God is so good because he hears the prayers we don't realize we're praying. And he was building me and working in me. Like, it was rough, but he was working. And so I've learned that I can do this because he believes and works in me. And that's the best part. And like I said, this was like a blessing in disguise for me. I would have never thought this would be an opportunity for me. And for those who don't know, like, this was like a connection that happened like out of nowhere, right? Like, it was like someone's telling me to call somebody else, and it's like, boom, right? When Ben had been like, oh, do you want to do an interview? I was like, I'm sorry, what is happening? Like, I remember, like, I was shook. Because I'm like, why would you ask to interview me? Like, I'm random. You don't know me. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? So all of my, like, flags were like, what is happening, God? What is going on? Like, Jesus, what's going on? And God's like, calm down. You're fine. Just do it. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, fine. So it's like me constantly having to check in with the counselor, right, to help me get through it and process through it. So I've just learned that, like, it's really possible. Whatever's meant to happen, it will. As long as I continue to say yes to him, he will do what he got to do throughout the day for me and for those around me. So, yeah, blessing in disguise.
Indeed.
Sure.
Nice.
Indeed.
All right. So I got one more question.
They're not going to let me go, y'all.
I'm just
The
joking.
extended podcast. Finale.
Nah, I'm just playing. You
Finale.
good. You good. You off the hot seat, sis. We thank God for you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So season 2 is in the works.
Let's
In the
get it.
works.
Let's
That's
get it.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We are done with season 1. We'll see you in season 2.
Peace.
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 Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Follow Then Lead podcast. You can reach us on social media at
The email is followthenleadinc@gmail.com. Instagram, Follow Then Lead Podcast. And our Twitter is Follow Then Lead P. Until next time,
Take It Easy.
word.